Alright, today's topic is Deltarune. See, good old character Jevil, you remember him? You know, the I can do everything freaking jester man. Yeah, well, guess what? People remade fanfictions on him, and this is the freaking cover picture of the whole fanfiction. It actually makes me just want to kill myself. So from the first thing, I guess, is that you're the protagonist Kun of this great fanfiction story. So alright, let's start with chapter 1. I lived in the dark room, the dark world, my whole life. Yet I had never noticed the old dusty bottom at the bottom of a long list of elevator floors. I could barely read it, but curiosity got the best of me. Of course it is. Sounds like those creepypasta stories. Got the best of me, and I pushed it. I traveled down for a while, my imagination going crazy with the thought of a place I've never seen before. I was a very sex-driven person. That's a big lie, but okay. Darkner, I guess, but I never really had a committed partner. Just a few flings with guards to pass the time. I don't think I want to do anything with those frickin' abominations, but maybe there was someone down here who would be right for me. That's ridiculous. I thought surely I would have heard of this place by now if there were actually anyone down here. Eventually the elevator finally stopped. I jumped off and was faced with a long descendant staircase. The staircase wasn't that long, come on. Why wouldn't they just make the elevator go all the way down? I don't know, man. But oh well, maybe there's reason. Dim blue torches guided the way into the darkness. I put my fears aside and started down. After a while of walking, I realized I could hear shuffling and the faint jingle of some sort of metal. Maybe bells. What kind of monster was down here? It's the bell monster, protagonist Kun, but I realized suddenly how unprepared I was. I had no way to defend myself. Heck, I couldn't even see where I was going. I thought that you said there was torches lining the way, but yet I still kept hiking down the steps like any smart person would do. I could barely see anything except for tall metal rails burying the end of the staircase. I heard a loud clank from behind the bars. Whatever it was had to be chained up. And behind bars? It must really be dangerous. Whatever it is, I figured I was too far in by now, and I might as well try to find out what it was. No, you could have went back, you know, there's no time going back. It's not too late to go back, was what I meant to say, but, you know. Oh, anyways, suddenly, a cranky voice rang out through the hallway. "Oh, what's this, a visitor?" It chuckled. Its voice was high-pitched, and it was grating. Kind of like this story already, but it sounded like it had planned out its dialogue ahead of time. Okay, locked down here, it probably had lots of time on its hands. Oh, wait, did it even have hands? Yeah, lots of time in its hands, just sit down there and think. And freaking, I don't know what Jevil was doing, probably just sitting down there. Hi, I didn't mean to stutter, but I did because I stuttered, but now it sounded like I was afraid. I scoffed out loud. Okay, now, what's there to laugh about, It giggled again with a high-pitched laugh. Would you like to play a game? It's a game where I'm the most hardest boss fight the entire game of Deltarune, and you're gonna have to spend hard hours on me, unless, you know, you're a master of dodging everything like some people. But before I could even answer its question, it continued. Say, why don't you unlock my cell and play with me? This isn't preschool, Jevil, but for a while, then I'll repay you however you want. Gosh dang, that sounded good to me. Yeah, just let out a prisoner, a possible murderer. Yeah, I just opened the cell for you, pal. My mind was racing with everything I could do. Do it. Oops. Maybe it was a cute demon. This protagonist could have weird tastes, man. But sure, as long as we're both true to our word, I replied. But of course, it answered, what's your name, strange visitor? Jack. Oh god, Jacksepticeye, what have you done? I'm joking. I wouldn't insult Jacksepticeye like that. But I feel like the person who wrote this fanfiction 100% watched Jacksepticeye's Deltarune gameplay video and then was like, protagonist could be called Jack. Yeah, that's perfect. Most people call me Jevil. It laughed again. I started to wonder what was so funny. There's probably this story existing, that's what's so funny. But if you want to play with me, asked the old shopkeeper. He knows the secret. And so, I was on a quest to free this monster who someone had clearly worked so hard to keep locked up. And because, you know, Jack here is kind of brainlet, but, you know, there were only a few shopkeepers in Dark World. There was Sheem, or Sham, however you pronounce it, I think it was Sham, but was probably the oldest one, and also one that people love shipping with Jevil, because, you know, they're partners, so that means, you know, they're in love. But, so, I figured that's what the creature meant. Maybe I could figure out more about it from Sham, fudge. It was a pretty far walk to the field, even with the weird door shortcut. You know, I should have Deltarune music in the background, but I just have to put song music, who cares. But I eventually got to Sham's sheep. Well, who cares, man? Sham's sheep. Seep. What the fuck? Ugh, that old man and his puns. Okay. He greeted me with his usual chuckle and welcome. I asked him about the prisoner on the unlabeled floor of the castle. A strange prisoner. His brow furrowed in thought. Oh no, you can't mean. He paused, concerned looking on his face. But an eye wide open. Him, he sighed. I see. After all the time it took me to lock him up, you want to release him? He hissed. Oh, I replied. I didn't realize you locked him up. Why didn't the king just do it? He's fat, but, well, it's kind of a long story. He used to be the court jester. I was the court magician. He was a strange little man, to say the least. He chortled, whatever. Oh, was he your friend? Then I asked. Could I perhaps consider him a friend? Maybe, maybe not. His ears wiggled a bit. What a weird old man he was. Just saying that right in his face. But, however, the only one who matched me in the games we used to play, he smiled. The end of his screwed, sewed up mouth turning up creepily. Holy cow, I'm not even in the mood to read this. But one day, he continued, he told me he met a strange someone, and since then, he began to change for the worse. He deeply sighed. He sighed deeply and stuff. He would always speak in tongues from then on, always saying things that didn't make sense. I like the story, but he paused for a while, looking away. They didn't completely not make sense either. He whispered, you could even say he went a bit insane, which is why I had to lock him up as his only companion. At this point, I was feeling a bit uneasy. Would it even be a good idea to unlock him? Perhaps it would be a bit of a bother if he was left alone for so long. Besides, a bit of chaos might be fun. He winked, but with his one eye. Okay, well then that means he blinked, but it kind of just looked like a blink. Okay, hold on, I'll give you a key. He dove down behind his counter to hunt through his messy shop. Eventually, he came back with a small key and handed it to me. If you wish to find the other 2 keys, one unlocks the doors to cell, the other 2 unlocks his chains. Was it really like that in Deltarune? I don't remember. I did try fighting Jevil, but you know I kind of gave up like 3 tries in. But I'll even give you a hint, since you humored my story so well, Jack. You're not even funny, Jack. But well, wait. I mean, it says walk where the stars don't shine. He did his weird wink blink again. If you succeed, be sure to come back and tell me, young one. Good luck. I feel like Jack's not even young. He's probably like a 50-year-old man. But like, wait, before I leave, can I borrow some armor to defend myself? He chuckled. Certainly, you're sure you're sure gonna need it. He smiled. You know, Sham here could have just like could have made him pay for it. You know, he could have been making a bit. Well, who cares? He smiled and handed me a gold-colored card and a few purple candies. Thank you, I responded. No problem. See you again, or not, he giggled. So you're telling me that since Jack here made the most funniest joke of all generations, Sham here decided to give him free stuff. Alright, man, you're gonna go out of business, but sending shivers up my back. That was probably the most I've ever talked to Sham since he's not really my type. Okay, man. He did give me a lot of useful information, though. He used to be the court jester, which would explain the laughter. Okay, man. This is apparently a boring chapter, but I thought of the tip that Sean gave me. Walk where the stars don't shine. I wondered what that could mean. I asked one of the guards, who told me they didn't really know. They didn't attack me. They just talked to me because, you know, we're best friends. But that there was an area that was locked with a puzzle that they were pretty sure was a key. A key would be. They mainly just gave me weird looks, but didn't really question me. I talked to them a bit. I talked to them a lot, so they trusted me. Okay, man. I liked puzzles, so it was a piece of cake to get past it. Okay, puzzle-loving man. Once I raised the spikes bearing my way, I easily opened the chest, which had a second silver key in it. Oopsie. All right. I had no idea where to go next, but I did know there was an area just past the bake cell where little shiny stones would shimmer like stars. Since we didn't have stars here, alright. It was alright. It was called the Dark World for a reason. I figured that would be a good place to start, even though it was so far away. I took the door shortcut again to get to Bake Cell. I didn't spend a lot of time around this area because it was really out of the way. But I eventually found my way to the cavern where the shiny stones were. I asked one of the guards there if they knew of anywhere. I sound like freaking AJ from The Walking Dead season 4 trying to read, but the stars don't shine. The confused look on their face made me laugh out loud. They did know of a place far off the marked trail where the rabbits like to hide. I think that's one of the enemies. I forgot though. That I might find interesting. This would be the second new part of the Dark World that I've never seen before. That I've found today. It was a pretty useless area. Hey, you're useless, Jack. But other than the small metal box I found just off the trail that had the third key in it. With that, I was finally ready to unlock the prisoner that I had only just met. Oh no. Ugh. I took the long journey back to the elevator, went all the way down to the unmarked floor, and back to the cell cell. This was probably more walking around than I've ever done in my entire time here. So you told me you didn't use the elevator. You did. I don't care. Anyways, I didn't mind though. For the sake of the adventure, I felt a strong feeling of dread as I headed down the stairs. Whoopsie daisy. What if he really did try to kill me? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he would, because, you know, that's what he does to everyone who opens his cell. He tricks them, he bamboozles them. But what if he was seriously dangerous? He is. Sham said it would be okay. I trusted Sham, because, you know, I kind of talked to him for like a minute, but, you know, it made him laugh at my unfunny jokes. But he's way smarter than he seems, I guess. What? Alright, well, no, that was the funniest joke I've ever heard ever. But I heard the metal sounds approaching the cell door. As I approached it, I already heard Jevil giggling when I reached the bottom of the stairs. My visitor is finally back. It's been so long, friend. I didn't like when he called me friend. Kind of freaked me out. You know, this story freaked me out. But do you have all the keys? When he asked in his high-pitched voice, because you keep mentioning that his voice is high-pitched just in case we forgot. But I nodded. Oh, please do let yourself in, he laughed. I cautiously unlocked the cell door and looked inside. From the entrance, I could see a small figure in the darkness. I can finally see you, visitor, he claimed. Thank you for keeping me company. It's been so long since I've had my last guest. I've last had a guest in my little freedom. I killed my last guest, but oh, what did you say your name was? Jack? Oh, Jack. Jacksepticeye. I'm so glad you went through all the trouble of unlocking me. I hadn't moved any closer, feeling that the card Sham gave me in my pocket. You're not going to hurt me when I unlock your chains, right? And you're also going to repay me, I asked, making sure he remembered our agreement. You know, if my repayment will be, you know, get me freaking food. But this dude's a freaking troglodyte, but of course not. Now please, get these heavy chains off me. I walked closer to where I could fully see him. He had gray skin. His skin is not gray, it's purple, but with a wide smile spreading across his face. Pointy gold teeth jutted out of his mouth. His teeth are yellow, not gold, but he was wearing an old-fashioned jester's hat with little bells at the end that jiggled as he bounced with excitement. His J-shaped tail wished back and forth like an excited dog. I like dogs. Large metal cuffs weighed his small arms down. He held them out so I could unlock them. I had to admit, he did look pretty cute. Alright, man, you're a weirdo, but especially in his current situation. And I started thinking about how he could repay me. Warily, I grabbed the cuffs and twisted the key into them, and they fell off the floor loudly. He stretched out his wrists, thanking me profitlessly. I don't care. Now, all that is left is to unlock the chain around my neck. He giggled eagerly. Not yet. Oh, I said with a smirk. I need to see if you're even worth freeing yet. A wicked idea had popped into my head. How about once I freed him from his current position, I put him in one of my own creations. What does that even mean? I put him in one of my own creations. That's not like some evil ruler type stuff. Yeah, you see that person? I'm gonna make him into my own image by making him just like me and evil. He would make such a good pet. Okay, now Jack here is a bit weird. He likes keeping small demons as pets. But I started taking my belt off. Oh my lord.
I can't believe this.
What do you mean by that? He asked, stuttering. You'll see, I grinned. Right! I unbuttoned my pants
and shoved them down. Oh, I see. That's how you want me to repay you, isn't it?
His voice wavered.
I laughed. Yes, I want you to be my pet.
Okay now. These people are weirdos, man.
You'll obey my every command.
If you're worth freeing, that is. Jack, I don't like you, man. I would probably free him. Either way, since I had enough. I've gone through so much trouble to get the keys. Yeah, solving like 2 puzzles, man. That's just like the toughest thing ever. But
I needed him to feel something was on the line.
Yeah, something was on the line, which, death.
I worked out my penis.
I hate this story already. It was still pretty plastic. I didn't spell it correctly, man. It wasn't very impressive. I don't really care. I frowned.
Oh, well, so, what do you want me to do?
He was blushing pretty bad. He was cute now that my eyes were fully adjusted to the darkness of the prison. I pulled his head up to me so he could suck my cock. And like I said, again,
right! As soon as his tongue touched me, I felt myself get hard.
What? Yeah, that's what it said. I felt myself get, yeah.
I was a bit worried about his teeth, but I figured it out.
It would only add to the simulation. Yes, getting my wee bitten off. That's good simulation there.
It almost felt like he'd done this before.
I highly doubt he's done this before, man. I just trying to make up your weird fanfiction stories, but
he was teasing me with the tip of his tongue.
Alright, man.
Causing me to groan in anticipation. Come on, you little effer, hurry up.
This is so terrible.
He wrapped his long tongue around my pee-pee, causing tingles to go all around. To go all the way up my spine. That tongue would really come in handy.
Alright, man.
He stroked my pee-pee with his tongue.
Oh, this is his cock with his tongue. I don't care, man.
But I was fully hard now. The little jester took my tip of his mouth. He took your tip of your mouth. Alright, man. It started sucking off the pre-cum that he had started puddling up.
I want to die so badly. Like, I just want to get a freaking knife and stab this book story. Who cares?
You had better get to work if you want me to let you out.
And again, this is rape, but
I said. He started stroking my pee-pee with his lips.
I hated this.
I was right about the teeth. They felt awesome.
Oh, no! They felt awesome. No! Even if they did.
I grabbed and pulled on his ears, urging him to keep going.
You're gonna end up ripping his ears off, Jackie boy, but
definitely felt like he'd done this before. He did not do this before, okay, Jack? Stop having your little fangirly fanfiction moments in here, because this never happened. But his tight throat closed around my shaft, and his tongue nudged against my base.
Why do you gotta make it so descriptive?
I grabbed the back of his head and pulled him onto me, causing him to choke, and he died. But the angry look he gave me sent me over the edge. I came all over.
Of course you did.
Trying to pull out before I came. I guess it was too late now. He groaned and anointed the mess. Oh jeez, I'm sorry.
I laughed nervously. I didn't expect it to come so quickly. I tried to swipe most of my nut off his Oh well, at least he looked hot. No! This man's delusional. I think I'd more than made my decision to free him now. Yeah, that's perfect, Jack. You know, I definitely think.
I grabbed the chain off the wall. There was
a lock on the wall. Yep.
and one of the shackles around Jevil's neck, presumably so he could be let out but kept close to on a leash. Oh yeah, I forgot, he's Jack's pet now, so he's gonna have to keep him on that. This was useful to me, for obvious reasons. Yeah, you're gonna make him his pet, and you're gonna freaking walk him like a dog and stuff. I unlocked the chain from the wall and wrapped it around my wrist.
Alright, edgelord.
Alright, this is my chain now.
Looks like those, basically look like one of those freaking heavy rock metal punk artists or something.
Please,
don't tell me you're going to lead me around on the leash. I thought I was being freed. He looked presumably angry. I just laughed like an a-hole. You are one, Jack, but
I don't think I can trust you yet. After all, I did just meet you, and I want to make sure you hold up your end of the bargain. I said, you literally just like raped him, man. I just met you, but don't worry, I can still do bad things to you, though. I don't even know what I agreed to totally. What does being a pet even mean? Oh, geez, he's innocent.
Alright.
Well, it's kind of. He struggled to explain it. Well, don't worry about it. You'll be more free than before. And yet we get to play games all the time. I smiled to myself at that last part. Yeah, alright, man. Oh, sounds good, he smiled
too, not knowing. Come on, then, I said. I made a promise to an old man.
I dragged Jevil into the shop. He was following pretty voluntarily, but by now, I guess he'd accept his fate.
Yeah, fourth being a pet with the biggest psychopath that's more crazier than him.
Sham greeted me as usual before he saw Jevil. Jevil, he said, is that you? Sham, he exclaimed, rushing to go see the old shopkeeper. It's been too long, friend. Sham nervously stepping away from the enthusiastic jester. Oh my lord, Sham, he like did bad things to me in this dungeon, you know, and it's ran by like a fangirl and stuff. I didn't think you would let him actually leave, Jack. I hadn't thought about that. Sham's probably just thought I was going to fight him, then leave. I'm pretty sure if it was real Deltarune, he would have most certainly killed you, Jack, but so he didn't expect to actually have to comfort him. Oh geez, I'm sorry. I didn't think about that. I put my fate in my hand. Well, either way, he belongs to me now. You can't just own people like this, freaking Jack. You're a goddamn slave owner now. Jesus. And I feel like he's true enough to his word to trust him out of his cell. Sham looked doubtful. He complied. Well, as long as you have a tight leash on him, I suppose he causes no harm. Sham, Joel piped up. Did I miss anything? Not really. You know how slow things are in the dark world, he replied solemnly. I thought it would be humiliating to be led around on a leash, but he seemed not to mind it. I suppose that's a good thing. We chatted with Sham for a while. The old man sure liked to talk, and I just love calling him an old man because, you know, that's how respectful I am. But then headed out again. I lived essentially in a hole in the wall. It's outside the castle. Alright, Gollum, but there was a crack in the cavern wall that I could just slip into. Not a great place to bring hookups to. What does that even mean? But hey, it was safe. Alright, man. And free to stay, which was probably the best part. Yeah, living in a dark cave where it's all freaking wet, and you know, I'm pretty sure sometimes caves in, but it's so great. Jevil looked really confused when I started to stare. Jesus Christ! Started towards the gap in the wall. I slid through without a problem. He followed suit. Alright, he followed suit. Yeah, I didn't have a lot since I didn't spend
a lot of time here, but what I did have certainly got me by I had a small mattress, alright, by a large pillow really to sleep on, and a chest full of little things I had come across in my time here. I was a bit of a hoarder, but not to where it dominated my life. Do I have to stay here? Jevil asked. Just until I know I can trust you. I'll take the chain off, but you're not allowed out of my sight. That seems pretty fair to me. Alright, I dug the key out of my jacket pocket and unlocked the shackle, finally freeing him. To my relief, he didn't automatically leave to wreak havoc on the kingdom. He stretched out, finally able to feel free for the first time in probably years. Then he let chaos off me and killed me, but that didn't really happen though. I wish it did though. I wish Jevil killed Jack here, but oh god. Oh no. I felt warm, happy that I could make him feel better and optimistic again. I highly doubt you're making him feel happy at all. I'm pretty sure you make him the most uncomfortable individual ever, but I asked him if he wanted to play checkers, and of course, he agreed. Jevil, look here, pal. I'd run away as soon as possible. You are way stronger than this individual. Yeah, I know he has the power of being a goddamn rapist, but you can just defeat him, alright? Within like 2 hits. But he agreed. I dug an old wooden checkerboard out of my chest and we played for a few hours. Jesus. He won the first 2 games with little to no problem, and I came to onto the third. I was exhausted after all the moving around I did today, so we laid down on my crappy bed. Devil's situated under my arm. God, no, I'm done. I'm pressed against my chest. Yeah, because Jevil would definitely just snuggle up with some random man he met like an hour ago. But I woke up to the next day with Jevil under my arm. It was really funny if he woke up dead. That makes sense. But where he had reluctantly slept because of the cold. He was really peaceful when he was sleeping compared to how he usually was, at least. Eventually, when we were both fully awake, we left my tiny cave to go find some breakfast. I'm pretty sure he's still on the leash, but I realized that it had been a while since Jevil had last seen the rest of the Dark World. It had also been a while since the Dark World last saw him. I saw a few guards whispering to each other. One of them walked away, presumably to tell the king. I knew a visit from him was sure to happen. After all, presumably, one of the most dangerous prisoners had been freed. I'm pretty sure you took Jevil's place, man. But even though I knew I could trust Jevil, they didn't. Yeah, because, you know, Jevil did what I asked him. My sexual freaking terribleness, but I hoped I could at least make some sort of deal with the king. Jack! Jevil said. I didn't think Sean wants to talk to me anymore. I really doubt he does. I'm pretty sure you're just imagining things, but I can see why. But I thought we were actually friends before he locked me up. I trusted him. That's why I let him jail me. Okay. He said he was protecting me. Ouch, that hurts. He was protecting friggin' Jevil from people like Jack, but I'm sure you could still be friends. Maybe he just needs some time, I suggested. He sighed and looked down. Hey, how about we go see him right now, and I leave you two alone. Maybe you can convince him to play cards with you. He thought that was a good idea, so we headed to Sean's shop. I almost said house, but I let him go in alone and continue with my business. Not that I had a lot of stuff to do, stuff that I had to be done. Alright, it was just nice to have some alone time. Pretty sure you had a lot of alone time, Jack, knowing the type of person you are, but
I went to meet two of my friends, both Ruddins. What's a Ruddin again? We didn't really do anything as usual. Life in the dark world is just passing time. It gets pretty boring. We talked about Jeremy's girlfriend for a while, since she's crazy and seriously bipolar. Oh, gossip. Eventually, though, I'm reading it like this because he's gossiping, but though they both had to go, I promised to see them later and went to go check on Jevil. I'm pretty sure Jevil was like freaking begging Sham to freaking help him from this madman, but when I walked in, they were just finishing up a game of poker. Jevil greeted me. "Hi, Jack," he smiled. With his pointy teeth, Sham snickered at how excited he was. This is like fake Jevil, okay? Like, Jevil would not be this excited after a troglodyte did bad things like that to him, but, so, did you two make up? I joked. Jevil laughed. "Yeah, I guess. Do you want me to leave with you?" "You can do what you want. It is getting kind of late, though." He tugged. Oh, I thought you said he tugged something. He hugged Sham and got up to leave with me. "You could have stayed if you wanted, you know," I said as we walked. "Yeah, but I feel like Sham was getting tired of me, and I don't want to bother him too much." "Fair enough. And you want to spend time with me too, right?" I smiled. Definitely." He made a snorting sound, clearly caught off guard by my flirt. "Yeah, that's definitely flirting. You want to hang out with me? Stop flirting at me." I had a good laugh at his reaction. Alright. Eventually, we made it back to my den. I thought it was whatever. We talked a bit about our days. He told me about talking to Sham. I laid back on my pile of pillows. "Well, at least you're having fun," I sighed. He frowned. "What's wrong?" He was trying to look concerned, but just looked like he wanted to murder me a bit. I'm really sure he does want to murder you, though, Jack. Something had been bothering me a bit. Probably a stupid thing, but I decided to throw the bait out there. Alright. Do I have a small penis? Why is that important? I laughed at his face. He looked extremely dazed and taken aback. "Alright, man. Well, it's not small, I don't think, but it's probably still too..." He stopped mid-sentence, blushing hard. He hid his face in his hands. I'm gonna end up killing myself at the end of the day from this fanfiction, I swear. I sat up surprised by how well it had worked. Wait, what was that? Still, what? What? He groaned. "Oh, geez, nothing." I hugged him playfully. I hope Chris Hansen goes for you, even though Jevil's in a child, but still, I just hope he goes for you. But I want to find out if I'm really too big for you. I pinned Jevil down to the mattress. To the mattress. Holding his shoulders down, he yelped in surprise. I smiled wickedly, already hard. Play the clip already. Right! He groaned as I ground against his butt. You grounded it? Alright, man. "Wanna play another game?"
No.
I asked sinfully. "First one to finish loses," I whispered in his ears. I slipped the condom on and plunged into him. Probably a bit too fast. He cried out in surprise and pain. I gave him a second to adjust to my size before pulling out. It felt like my pee-pee was going to be sucked off. I hate this story. I grimaced at the pain that I loved so much. Jack, I hate you. Driven by lust, I dove myself into the tiny devil, his moans growing louder and more anguished. I paused to lean over him and bit his ear. Why are you biting his ear? You trying to eat him? "You okay?" I asked. He replied, his eyes clenched shut. Wow, it's almost like I'm too big for you, I teased. He growled in response.
Shoot me.
He was actually feeling good about my pee-pee for once. I loved the thought that I could drive someone so crazy with it.
I think you're driving me crazy with how terrible this is, but
he stopped pushing back by now, so I had to hold him in place. I grabbed his thighs, causing him to yelp. I hadn't meant to grab so hard. Regardlessly, I pushed into his butt. He cried out in pleasure. I'd find a good spot. I rubbed against that area hard, causing him to pant heavily, his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
Please stop.
I felt like I was enjoying this imagery.
I'm not enjoying this at all.
Way too much.
That's because you're psycho, but
I pushed into him hard. He moaned loud, shifting it, burying his face in the pillows. He relaxed around my cock that initially adjusted around my pee-pee. I guessed I'd won our game, I smiled. This isn't your first time doing this, is it? I asked, more of a statement than a question. He paused for a second before nodding. Gam, I knew it!
I slapped his thigh. Can you stop, man? Like, you're actually just like the biggest nonce of all generations, but
causing him to genuinely moan. I started laughing breathlessly, my pee-pee still in his butt. He laughed at his own weird impulse. I pulled out and collapsed with a sigh. Jevil continued to hide in the mound of pillows. I had finished and didn't have any urge to anymore. I slid the condom off. It was full of pre-cum. Gross! Like the story, I tossed it towards the center of the room. I'd get rid of it later, maybe. I put my pants back on, shoving my still slightly erect pee-pee down into the crotch of my pants. The one time my pee-pee wouldn't fit in my pants.
Alright, man.
Otherwise, it was too small. I laughed to myself.
You're like the worst jokester of like all time.
This was how sex was supposed to feel.
No, it's not supposed to be with Deltarune characters, sir.
Fun. It was more of a bonding exercise than anything, at least to me.
Yeah, because you're just like a retard.
I was really tired now, though. I bet Jevil was too. Hey,
I spoke to the mountain of pillows and blankets he created around himself. He popped out, still blushing.
Are you as hungry as I am?
He nodded aggressively. I opened my arms for a hug. He happily obligated. I hugged him tight to me, planting a kiss on his neck. Jevil purred against me, and then Chris Hansen opened the door and called the FBI on Jack, and he was taken away. And then like that, the story is over, and I want to die. So yeah, apparently I guess it's to be continued. It's like every fanfiction I read isn't finished, and Jesus, at this point I really don't care if you send hate to this one, man. Like, I know I said don't send hate to the other ones, man, but oh, this one was just a pain, man. Like, Deltarune, you shouldn't ruin the game. It's been out for like 2 months or 3, and yeah, I'll see you later next time. Bye. Kill me.
You hear a voice to close your